Welcome to Vilania's. Today we enter the shadows of a feudal Japan shrouded in legends of samurai and duels to the death. Get ready to meet a man who transcended the status of warrior to become a myth. Miyamoto Musashi, a name that resonated on the battlefields and that still ignites the imagination of millions today. Was he a sword genius or a ruthless killer? Truth or legend? Join us on this journey through time to discover the truth behind Japan's most famous master swordsman. Miyamoto Musashi, a figure shrouded in legend and mystery, was a Japanese master swordsman who lived during the Edo period. His skill with the katana was legendary, and it is said that he never lost a duel. Beyond his exploits on the battlefield, Mushashi was a philosopher who sought perfection in all facets of life. His teachings, captured in the Book of the Five Rings, continue to be studied today by martial artists and thinkers around the world. The birth of a legend. Miyamoto Musashi, a name that resonated with fear and admiration in feudal Japan, was more than just a swordsman. From a young age, he demonstrated an innate ability to fight, participating in clandestine duels that soon made him a legend. His unique and ruthless combat style set him apart from his contemporaries. With each victory, his reputation grew, establishing himself as an invincible warrior. Miyamoto Musashi, a name that resonated with fear and admiration in feudal Japan, was more than just a swordsman. From a young age, he demonstrated an innate ability to fight, participating in clandestine duels that soon made him a legend. His unique and ruthless combat style set him apart from his contemporaries. With each victory, his reputation grew, establishing himself as an invincible warrior. Feudal Japan was a period marked by violence and instability. The samurai, the warrior class, were the masters of war and destruction. In this context, Musashi became a symbol of the brutality of the time. Their duels, often bloody and merciless, reflected the reality of a society in which force was a law. However, behind the violence, there was also a deep philosophy about life and death. Despite the violence that surrounded him, Musashi transcended his time to become a legendary figure. His name became synonymous with martial skill and determination. Although many of his duels are shrouded in legend, his legacy as an invincible warrior continues to inspire martial artists and history lovers around the world. The figure of Musashi reminds us of the importance of discipline, perseverance, and the constant search for perfection. Musashi's duels are as legendary as the warrior himself. One of the most famous was against Sasaki Kojiro, a highly skilled swordsman and founder of the Gonryu style. This confrontation, which took place on a small island, became a legend. Another notable rival was Arima Kihei, a ronin with a high reputation. These duels were not only physical confrontations, but also battles of egos and displays of skill. Each victory cemented Musashi's reputation as the greatest swordsman of his time. Beyond physical prowess, Musashi was a master of the psychology of grief. He understood that victory depended not only on skill with the sword, but also on the ability to intimidate the opponent, anticipate his movements, and take advantage of his weaknesses. Their duels were, in many ways, mind games in which victory was decided before the first sword was crossed. Beyond the sword. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary swordsman, was much more than a master of the katana. Behind the image of the invincible warrior hid a deep thinker who sought to understand the nature of existence. His masterpiece, the Book of Five Rings, is a testament to his intellect and worldview. In this treatise, Musashi not only talks about military strategy, but explores topics such as philosophy, psychology, and spirituality. The Book of Five Rings is divided into 5 parts, each dedicated to one of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. Through these elements, Musashi explores different aspects of life and combat. For example, water represents adaptability and fluidity, while fire symbolizes strength and energy. By understanding these elements, the warrior can develop a more effective strategy and a more calm mind. For Musashi, perfection was not a destination, but a path. Through constant practice and self-discipline, the warrior could get closer and closer to his goal. His philosophy was based on the idea that everything in life is connected, and that true mastery is achieved when harmony with the universe is achieved. The sword, for Musashi, was much more than a weapon. It was a metaphor for life itself. Just as a swordsman must master his weapon, the individual must master his emotions, his thoughts, and his desires. Through the practice of martial arts, Musashi sought to not only improve his physical abilities, but also strengthen his spirit. Musashi's teachings have transcended the barriers of time and culture. His work has been studied by martial artists, philosophers, and business leaders around the world. Although the Book of Five Rings was written centuries ago, its principles are still relevant today. Many find in his words a guide for life and a source of inspiration. It is important to remember that many of the stories about Musashi are the product of legend. It is said that he never lost a duel and that he possessed supernatural powers. However, behind the myth, there is a real man who strove to achieve perfection in all facets of his life. Musashi was a deep thinker, a talented artist, and a legendary warrior. His legacy continues to inspire all those who seek to achieve their goals and live a fulfilling life. El Artista Guerrero. Miyamoto Musashi, beyond his fame as a swordsman and philosopher, was a man of many talents. His passion for creation manifested itself in various forms of art. From painting to calligraphy, Musashi expressed his vision of the world through brushstrokes and strokes. His art, like his philosophy, was deeply rooted in nature and the pursuit of perfection. If you made it this far, leave your like and subscribe for more Villanias. Calligraphy was a fundamental practice in Musashi's life. Through writing characters, he found a way to meditate and connect with his interior. His calligraphy, characterized by its simplicity and elegance, reflected his search for harmony and beauty. Musashi was also a talented painter. His works, although few, reveal a deep knowledge of nature and a unique aesthetic sensitivity. Through his paintings, he expressed his vision of the world and his connection with the universe. The Book of Five Rings is, without a doubt, Musashi's best-known literary work. However, this treatise is not only a manual of military strategy, but also a work of art in itself. Through his words, Musashi conveyed his ideas clearly and concisely, creating a work that has inspired generations of readers. For Musashi, art was not just a form of expression, but a way of life. Everything he did, from fighting to artistic creation, was guided by the same principle, the search for perfection. His vision of art was holistic, encompassing all facets of human existence. Musashi's artistic legacy transcends the barriers of time and culture. His works, both written and visual, continue to be studied and admired around the world. By exploring the creative side of this great master, we can appreciate the depth and complexity of his personality and better understand the impact he had on Japanese culture. Beyond the myth. Miyamoto Musashi, often portrayed as an invincible warrior and unflappable philosopher, was actually a man of flesh and blood, with his own doubts and fears. Behind the mask of the impassive warrior, a complex human being was hidden, with a life rich in experiences and emotions. Throughout his life, Musashi forged alliances with various figures, from samurai to artists and craftsmen. These relationships, often based on mutual respect and admiration, played a fundamental role in his personal and professional development. However, he also had numerous enemies, some of whom were as skilled as he was. Among his most notable rivals were Sasaki Kojiro and Arima Kihei, legendary swordsmen who challenged his dominance. Musashi's morality is a complex and controversial topic. While his teachings on virtue and discipline are admirable, his life was marked by violence and death. Many of his duels were provoked by himself, and some historians consider him an arrogant and ruthless man. However, others see him as a product of his time, a warrior who simply followed the rules of a violent world. Despite his reputation as a ruthless warrior, Musashi was a seeker of truth. Through his travels and experiences, he sought to understand the meaning of life and his place in the universe. His philosophy, although sometimes contradictory, reflects a constant search for knowledge and self-knowledge. Musashi was a lonely man by nature. He preferred the company of nature and introspection to that of others. His life was marked by loss and uprooting, which contributed to his introspective and melancholic character. Despite his fame and abilities, he never found a place to call home. Miyamoto Musashi was a complex and contradictory man. He was a formidable warrior, a profound philosopher, a talented artist, and a natural loner. His life was a mixture of lights and shadows, triumphs and failures. Despite his flaws, his legacy continues to inspire millions of people around the world. By understanding the complexity of his personality, we can better appreciate his work and his place in history. In Villainias, we explore the protagonists and antagonists of the story. See you soon. Visit us again. We publish content every day.